collected so far, it amounts to less than 1% of the spilled crude. To get a step ahead of the growing spill, Exxon shipping president Frank Iarossi urges the cleanup team to consider a new, controversial process: dumping chemical dispersants from a plane that resembles a crop duster. Dispersants are solvents that break down the oil into small droplets that fall into the water column. As the Coast Guard's on-scene coordinator, Steve McCall has the final word on whether dispersants may be used or not.
Welcome to
He worries the
Welcome
chemicals
Park.
could harm the environment more than the oil.
It was scary for me because it hadn't been done before, and especially not on a scale of the size we were talking about.
It looks like they've been waiting to meet you.
It's taking too long. The slick is gushing out of control. Despite his own concerns, McCall approves.
At Welcome Park, you can find out more about the features of your PlayStation Vita system.
700 gallons of dispersant over Prince William.
There are some tutorials that use the touch, tilt, camera, and microphone features.
From a nearby helicopter.
By using these tutorials, you'll become more familiar with how to use your PlayStation Vita system. Alright, let's go to the main menu.
And we spotted him, and it was very little activity.
Select the icon of the tutorial you would like to play. Why don't you try a tutorial that uses touch first? Here you can try out some ways of using touch. Make the numbers disappear in the correct order.
Alaska's supply of dispersant, some 18,000 gallons, is inadequate.
If you take your pen out of your pocket,
Touch the numbers in order, starting with the lowest to make them disappear.
30 load of dispersant being sprayed on this slick.
Ready?
And
Go!
A room, 10 by 12 room, being the oil slick. That's the situation we had. We had 2 penwidths of dispersant in a room where you would need hundreds and hundreds of dispersants to hit the whole oil spill.
The response team runs down the line. Overnight, a fierce storm rolls in. The spill expands to 5 times its previous size, approximately 500 square miles. Gusts up to 25 knots blast the gargantuan slick onto shorelines across Prince William Sound. It's a worst-case scenario.
It just took the oil like it was on a freight train, plastering trees, rocks as high as cliff faces, as high as 20, 30 feet.
Oil sticks to
You did it! Try to beat the target time. Peel away the numbers, starting with the lowest first. You can rotate the carousel by
We
dragging.
knew right from then.
Ready?
Shoreline thing.
Go!
It was a dark day for everybody.
Local marine toxicologist Ricky Young notices that sea otters are also capable of to survive. They need to stay near the water's surface, where the slick covers.
There's nothing that looks worse.
You did it!
I mean, they just look pathetic. And they were scratching their eyes out. They were going blind from the oil spill.
Seabirds dive
Use the rear touchpad to make the numbers disappear, starting with the lowest.
They coat their wings with sticky crude.
Ready? Go!
Whales struggle to come up with the slick and breathe. Worrying marine disaster spreads around the world. Drawings of reporters arrive in small town LEDs. Every whale says the story horrifies the public with pictures of thousands of dead and dying animals. We begin getting images of birds, seals,
You did it!
eagles flying around a national symbol, flopping around in oil and dying. And it just shook everything. Reporter Chris Beery covered the story for ABC News. And for months, watched as the spill's disturbing footage soured Americans on Alaskan seas.
Why don't you try a tutorial that uses the camera next?
From Alaska, particularly.
This tutorial uses the camera. Try putting the picture pieces back in the right order.
Fish that has been poisoned.
March 28th. The top news story remains the Exxon Valdez.
Take a picture by pressing the camera icon.
The latest twist is that Captain Hazelwood has a history of excessive drinking. In fact, He was arrested twice in the last 5 years for...
How many pieces would you like?
Joe Hazelwood tells the final report that his alcohol use was in the past and unrelated to Paul's.
Ready? Go!
I didn't have a drinking problem at that time. To me, it was a private matter. Shore-based had nothing to do with the job.
State prosecutors filed a claim to examine Hazelwood's drinking in the hours before the accident. 5 days into the spill, Exxon realizes the cleanup could take months, if not years.
Next, how about a tutorial that uses tilt?
Centers to wash and clean the oil.
Here's your chance to try out tilt. Do your best to avoid the balls.
Thousands more remain at risk.
Ready? Go!
Exxon pulls cleaning
Tilt to the left and right to move.
including the front porch of Mayor John Devens.
One day I came home.
Tilt quickly towards or away from you to jump.
And they were cleaning cigars in my jacuzzi.
Workers vigorously scrub the otters with heavy soaps, but the problem is internal. The otters try grooming themselves by licking oil from their fur. They ingest the deadly toxins and die. 7 p.m., 90 miles from Valdez, in the remote fishing village of Cordova, hundreds of residents pack the high school gym. This town hall meeting is the first face-to-face meeting between Exxon, Aliaskan, and the local fishermen, whose way of life depends on the waters now contaminated by the spill. This year's fishing season is lost, but residents worry about the long-term damage to Alaska's multi-billion-dollar industry. Now their livelihood is at risk, in part because of the slow response to the spill. Tensions are high when Alaska President George Nelson takes the podium.
I don't know if that was policy 5 years ago. I do. Yes, thanks. I will tell you just in a minute.
Let's take the questions in orderly fashion, please.
I've been to many town meetings, different stores. I've never seen people so upset.
You beat the target score. Congratulations!
Near the close of the meeting, Exxon spokesman Don Cornett delivers a promise. Exxon will make every effort to pay for damages to the fishermen.
We will consider...
Why don't you try a tutorial that uses the microphone next? You'll need to use the microphone for this tutorial. Record sounds and then experiment with what you've recorded.
Now coated with oil.
Touch and hold anywhere on the screen to record sounds.
We're going to attack this 1,300 miles, one lot at a time.
That's next. On the final report.
The sounds you recorded will be repeated back on a loop. Try experimenting with the different sounds you've recorded. Next, how about a tutorial that uses the camera? Here's a tutorial that uses the camera. Can you find things around you that look like faces?
It could be 1,000,000 years old, or a few weeks old. Way back in Orion's belt, a place that's closer than you think. 5 years ago, the dealer in the RV was treated with a low RV.
After your busy day. Outlast your day any day with Secret's 48-hour odor protection technology. New Secret Outlast.
Freaking out, man. He's on my back and over fighting or something. Don't worry. investing dashboard. Everything's on one page. I'm watching you. Oh, yeah? Well, I'm watching you. Watching it. Try a new 360 investing dashboard. 21st century insurance is back again with Vita. You can shrink the time it takes training by hundreds of dollars without shrinking the coverage. And we're going to do it by, well, shrinking these two identical cars. You see, one car is covered by a living insurance provider. The other is covered by 21st century. Both cars have the same total loss coverage. And voila! The same new subcompact makeover. Since both cars are covered, both cars can be replaced. Here's the difference. Drivers who switch from Vita to 21st save an average of $508 a year. Drivers who switch from Allstate to 21st, they save even more. Now that is a crushing blow. Call 888-620-2121 for your free quote, or visit 21st.
How was it? If you would like to quit Welcome Park, press the PS button.
A National Geographic event on Titanic's 100th anniversary. Host the most in-depth